delete the other videos?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations live on Friday night where we're making a lobster wreath for the summer. So this will be amazing because it will look wonderful in your backyard if you're doing a seafood steamed kind of boil. I don't know, whatever you call them, where it's not a clam bake.
Lobster bake.
This is like a lobster bake. So we talk about doing that all the time for my dad's birthday. That we're all going to get together, use this turkey roaster for our steam thing, and throw a whole bunch of seafood in and just have like one big huge seafood thing. Anyway, this is going to make a super cute wreath. Super simple because all we're going to be using is one type of Deco mesh, which is this 10-inch navy blue and cream that came from Craft Outlet. This is my favorite Deco mesh. And they've even changed some of the color combinations. Like they used to have it in what? Red and tan?
And maroon.
Yeah, it was like a maroon and tan, and now they don't carry it anymore. So bummer on that. So we're just going to be doing that. We're doing it on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. So I'm going to show you guys how to wire it. I did my pipe cleaners in blue and white because at the end, when I put all my runes in, it's either going to be blue or white. I don't know. It just looks better that way. We're using a sign that says eat, beach, and sleep underneath. Repeat. 6 different ribbon. So from various lengths of 1.5 inch to 2.5. And I'll go over those the closer we get to actually using them. We're using our little plastic lobster. Remember we got him from Shinoda. This is exactly the reason why I bought him. And that's pretty much it, I think. Oh, it's flex tubing. What?
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. This is a disclaimer for legal purposes that there were no real lobsters harmed in the making of this tutorial or this wreath. So that should pretty much cover all of my legal bases. So who do we have joining us?
Hi gals, we have Mary, Faith, Michelle, Jane, Karen, Trisha, Peggy, Audrey, Kathy, and Barbara so far.
Awesome. Okay, well,
tagged in.
So this is public setting, so you can feel free to share this as much as you want. Like I said, if you want to recapture the technique or the style, like I said, the signs are pretty predominant at Hobby Lobby right now. They're 40% off. It's part of their spring collection, so they have a couple different lobster ones, but it would be super cute, like I said, to be out on the back porch when you're having your barbecue, or if you have a beach cottage. This is a really cute summer wreath. So we're gonna go ahead and start.
Sandra said, hey everybody, I'm excited for this one. I live in Maine, so this would be a great seller here.
Oh, that would be, huh?
Yeah,
or a
Maine
seafood
lobster.
restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah, this would be great for a seafood restaurant or a little seafood vendor who sells it at the farmer's market. So lots of different ways you can market this.
And Judy said, hello from Missouri, learning a lot from you. Thank you. Yep. Hi Linda, Cindy, Deborah, Jesse, and Tracy.
Okay. So let me go ahead and get started. 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. If you do not have a Dollar Tree close to you, that's not a problem because you can still go online and order from dollartree.com. You can order them individually, or you can order them by the case, which is the nicest way of getting. They come 24 to a case. So for $24, you're pretty much set for the rest of the year. If you don't make an awful lot of wreaths, because you think about it, 6 months. What is that, like 2 wreaths a month maybe? Anyway, so when you do your wiring of your pipe cleaners, and the reason why I do this is to keep costs low, the quality is still there, which means that we can keep our prices low and affordable for our customers. So with blue and white pipe cleaners, I add to each of the 6 sections 6 on the inside, which is wiring together the 2 most inner rings together. That prevents your pipe cleaners from sliding and moving around. And then we put 2 to the outside on the last outer 2 rails, again wiring those together to prevent movement, and then using the weld marks and then our center pipe cleaner to kind of help us gauge approximately how close you want to put your pipe cleaner. So I'm going to wire the last section together, and there's no rhyme and reason to my colors. I was just alternating blue, white, blue, white, blue, white. I don't know why I didn't do red, white, because I think I'm doing blue, white mesh. So as you can see, I wired the first two together, and then I'm going to wire the outer two using the weld and my center pipe cleaner as my point. So you can see it's really sturdy. You're not going to get much movement unless you are pretty hard in how you wedge your pipe cleaners on there, because they're just lightly welded, so you don't want to squeeze too hard and pull those wire rails together and then cause your welds to break. It happens from time to time. If it happens and your husband's a welder, awesome, because you just have him spot weld that and keep on going. If not, then that becomes your mock-up. So that's what I use all my broken wreaths for, is mock-ups, to determine how am I going to lay it out, how much material am I going to use, how long should my ribbons be. So this is all ready to go for our wreath creation, and this is what I'm talking about when I refer to mock-up. It just means complete one section. So test your samples on your Deco mesh, test your lengths of your ribbon, your half bows, kind of how you want to see that all play out. So this is going to be reminiscent pretty much all the way around our wreath. Then we're going to add our sign, our lobster, and then we're going to add a nice bow on this to kind of really finish it off and tie those summer colors together. Cool. So mock-ups are key because it prevents you from wasting materials, which I did a lot of initially when I started, because, you know, do I cut these 12 inches? Do I cut them 15 inches? It just is going to depend on what you want it to look like, how thick, how full you want it to be. You know, sometimes you'll have custom orders where a customer is going to say it can't be more than 3 inches tall, which is a challenge because this is about 1.5 inches high. And then, so that only allows you an extra 1.5 inches, and our little lobster guy would totally put that over. So that means that maybe you could add a sign, but not the lobster, definitely not a bow. Could do the ribbon tails and the half bows, and then you still have a pretty good product.
You're welcome, Lisa. Deborah said I have the same sign, haven't used it yet, so I'm excited to see how you create the wreath.
Oh, this will be fun. Okay, so I use the navy and cream. I think this is and I took my sign. It's a jute Deco mesh. So it does have the cotton fibers, but I ran it through my wood burning tool, and it had no problem going through the few cotton fibers that are in here. It's not 100%, but I was shocked. I was like, does it work? Does it not? Let's try it. So these are cut to 15 inches. So I have 18 15-inch pieces. So that's just going to create my overall very flat, but also very thick and full base. So I just scrunched them. I'm going to move those to the side so you can see. I do little bow ties. So these are my finished edges, and I lay them to where the finished edges are toward the center and towards the outside, because that's where the most contact is going to be made. Yeah. And so if we take our cut edges and put them on the inside, it should help reduce the amount of fraying that we have. So I'm just going to go around in every single one of the 18 pipe cleaners, and I'm going to add, I'm trying to get this to where you can see. Wow, this is definitely not. This was my discovery. No, when I got halfway through the Deco mesh roll, this was in there, and I was like, what? I can't use this for anything. So it happens. It shouldn't. I don't know why the manufacturers insist on doing that. Like, we're not going to notice.
And your 10-inch blue Deco mesh is cut to how long?
15 inches.
15 inches.
Yeah. So if you do 15 inches and your Deco mesh is pretty thick, you can have a pretty good coverage. But if your Deco mesh is pretty thin, you're going to probably want to double that, which is good if your Deco mesh is fairly inexpensive. And I don't remember how much this particular Deco mesh costs. I want to say roughly around $8 a roll. It's a little bit more, but like I said, I like it because it's soft, and I'm dealing with the dreaded end of the roll nightmare.
Hey, Kate.
Caitlin's on.
Yep, and Eva and Dawn and Lisa, Carol.
Thank you for joining us on Fridays, everyone. This should go pretty quick. So we just keep fluffing and we just keep moving all the way around. And then we will add our sign, because our sign is going to take up, I think, 2 full sections, which is why I haven't quite cut all of my ribbon, because with all of this stuff between a bow, a sign, a lobster, I wanted to make sure I'm not wasting it when it's just going to either be covered, hidden, or anything else. So we just keep moving around. Sometimes you can use your scissors to kind of keep the dreaded roll from happening. And I pull my ruffles towards. It's one of the easiest wreath making tips or techniques to do. So if you're starting wreath making, this is probably the easiest one. So if you get good quality Deco mesh, it's going to turn out really, really good and you will be very pleased. When you get substandard product and you're really fighting it because it looks thin, it looks flat, it has no life to it, then it kind of discourages you from wanting to make any more. Okay. So, what questions do you guys have about anything that I can cover for you? I'm super excited because I was hugely inspired last night with a couple creations that I'm going to be making on our lives. So we're going to totally infringe all over the copyright stuff because I can make it on the live, but I can't advertise it on like Etsy, or I can't put it on my website. So those will be like, hey, I can make it, and if you want it, then you can message me and we're good.
Yep.
But I'm super excited. So I was like, we can teach that. That would be fun. And it's perfectly themed for things that are coming up. Kind of. So we shall see. And I know people wanted to see us do a military wreath, so we will be doing military wreaths. I'll show you how to do it. We'll just kind of pick whichever one that I happen to have a sign for and go with that. So I'm super excited.
Deborah asked, what would happen if you scrunched your mesh the opposite side of the mesh? Would you still get the same effect?
So if I did it with the cut side, is that what you're talking about? So instead of doing it long, you're saying do it this way, like this?
I think that's what she meant. It's either that or upside down.
Watch.
It would look.
Yeah, it's not going to have much life to it.
Yeah.
So when we do it the other way, it just kind of adds ripples. But even if we go, like say this way, when we make it,
And turn upside down.
and if we were to turn it this way and make it go longer,
Right.
it's just going to overlap. It's going to lay on top of
Each other.
one another, and
Right.
you're not going to have like the ruffle technique kind of going here. It's going to be kind of flat. So that's why I go that way. And anytime we can reduce the likelihood of fraying, which is the bane of every wreath maker, we kind of do what we can.
And Deborah said upside down, turn it over. That would mean the cut edges are facing up.
So
And you
like
don't really
this.
want your cut edges ever facing up, yeah.
So like this.
Right.
Number one, it's harder to do when you're ruffling. So
See how your cut edges are going to face up?
yeah. And then things are going to just kind of get all kinds of tangled in here
Right.
as you're laying other
Right.
Deco mesh pieces on top of it.
Right. When you lay it side down, the smoother side is on the top, and that's what you want as far as your finished look.
Yeah. So see, it looks like the little ruffle,
Right.
like a ripple.
Like a bow tie turned down.
Yeah. It looks like, what is it, the one type of pasta that looks like little bow ties like that?
Farfalle. Yeah.
Farfalle. It's
Yeah.
probably got a highly technical name. It's probably not
Farfalle.
pronounced that way. It's probably like, no, it's not pronounced that way.
Cheryl asked, where did you get your mesh?
Craft Outlet. And I think they're out of stock in this color because when I ordered it, I was scared. I didn't even look and see if I had it. I thought I had ordered it, and I went through a couple boxes that I had in my spare bedroom that had orders that I don't have room for right now because they just need to get made into items so that I can unpack the boxes. But I got really worried because I didn't have any more white and cream. I only had one that was partially opened. But then I remembered I had some Deco mesh boxes in the garage, and sure enough, I had 2 rolls of this. So you're only gonna need about half a roll. But I think that was the reason why I only ordered 2, is that was the only 2 they had. Because I love this. This is a really good summer nautical Deco mesh to have. And if you've never tried Craft Outlet Deco mesh, you're missing out, because once you go Craft Outlet, you ain't gonna ever want to go back. So, and then I'm gonna use the ones in my mock-up too. So I just try to do that as well, so that we're not wasting anything. And that's why I have you guys do the mock-up, because that's the #1 question I get messaged and emailed about. They'll send me pictures and go, I don't really know what to do with this. This is all my ribbon I have. This is all my Deco mesh I have. I don't know what to do. And it's just start a mock-up and see.
Yep, Mary said, watching from Romney, West Virginia, pretty mesh. I had seen some in red and white and other multicolors.
Yes, red and white is the new one that they have this year. I think I got that one for Christmas.
Yeah.
But it's going to be different because it doesn't have metallic in it, so it's a flat looking mesh. So it's not going to pair well with a metallic green. So it's probably going to be something that's a little primitive looking, because you can't get sparkly with non-sparkly.
Yep. Hi Karen. Liz says getting a box from Craft Outlet is like Christmas.
It does. Especially when it takes them a while and you're like, what did I order? What was my impulse buy?
So it's like Christmas for us every month.
No, that's not true. I have not placed any orders.
That's true, it's been a little while.
It's been a while. Because I swore off of it. I said no. I'm disciplining myself. I can't order anything else until I make what I have.
Sandra, just go to Craft Outlet. She said, I need that color mesh to match a lot of nautical items I have.
That's what I said.
That's a really pretty color.
That's a perfect nautical, but I don't know if they have it in stock.
I hope.
Steve will probably go look and be like, nope, sorry, it's out. Because that's what you did on the last one. So I'm taking all these out to use to get them all the way down. And look, it's already in my little ruffle. So I'm good. So I'm just going to add these 3 to this one as soon as I find the other end. And then we'll do the same thing here.
Is that navy?
Yes, it's called Navy and Cream. Are you able to look it up?
I'm looking it up. But what's interesting is the first thing that popped up is Amazon. 10-inch wide polyjute Deco mesh navy and cream, but it's $13 a roll. But you can get it if you need it.
On Amazon?
On Amazon.
Okay, so what about Craft Outlet?
I'm still looking.
craftoutlet.com. Type in 10-inch navy blue and cream.
Yep.
So see, all this stuff's going to be reused. But it allows you, like if it was me, I would have just kept going when I was doing this. So it just sets my standard for all my measurements, because I'm like, ooh, that looks pretty. And then I put my sign and my lobster with it, and I was like, okay, I like it. So this is, we will take these off later.
It is out of stock.
Out of stock.
But it's only $6.50.
Okay.
but it is out of stock right now.
So double the price if you want it right now, and you can get it on Amazon.
Yep.
Is it Prime?
I didn't look.
So double the price if you really, really, really need it. Now on Craft Outlet, the little red thing, does it just say out of stock, or does it give you like plus 3 months? Because usually it'll tell you.
No, it said
check for availability.
yeah, check for availability, and
Which could mean it's out for the season. You're not going to get it in time for Christmas, but this is our base. So as you can see, holding it up to the light, it's still transparent, but it's still full. But remember, we're going to be adding a sign, a ribbon, a bow, and a lobster. So we're really going to
thicken it up.
Thicken it up, thank you. And then, what else was I going to say? Looking at it from this side, it's pretty, like...
It's only like 4 inches.
It is flat, but long. So it's, I think this is going to be a 24 inch. Yep, 24 by 24. So that's going to be the dimensions. And then by the time we add our bow, lobster, and our sign, it's going to be 6 inches, I think, is the overall diameter.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sign first, because the sign is going to take up quite a bit of space. So if we look, not just, I don't want it in the middle, I'm actually going to be putting this one off to the side, because we have this, we have our lobster, and then we have our bow. So if you look at it this way, there's not much space for ribbon tails and half bows, because so much of it is going to be covered by stuff. That's why it's imperative for us to put the sign on first, because there's no need to put expensive ribbon underneath this when it's just going to be covered by the sign anyway. So I am not going to use the twine on here. You could, if you stayed within like a beige burlap tone, and the lobster ribbon does come in white. What is it? It's like a lobster. White with a lobster print. It also comes with a beige and lobster. So if you wanted to stay in the more neutral, like sand color, you could definitely do that. So I'm going to remove my sign this way.
Yep. Jenna, yeah, other people replied 15 inches, Jenna. She cut her deco mesh to 15 inches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm looking at where I want to put these. So I think I'm going to do it right here. I wanted it.
Karen said even though the mesh pieces are 15 inches instead of 10, I would think this method is less cost than using a poof method.
Well, it could be.
The poof is still just one roll, but it's usually a 21 inch.
Right.
But yes, it is a lot less.
So
and it was very quick. I mean, she had all of her pieces in 15 minutes.
Yeah, if I can work while I talk. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting holes in the center where because it's going to kind of be off to this side. Neither one of these is going to provide. This one may have secured it to the wreath, but I'm going to just do it in the middle right here. So Bead Smith from Amazon, 1.5 millimeter. These are metal hole punch pliers. So it allows you to punch holes in any sign that you have that is not overly thick. So not going where it's embossed and raised, going more towards where it's flat. It's just like hole punch. So you're just going to punch holes in those. So I'm going to feed this through, just like so, and bring it to the back. And we're going to put our pipe cleaners in so that we can see what areas are exposed that we need to put ribbons and a bow on. Because you guys know ribbon's expensive, and the last thing we want to do is cut more than we need. So we're going to go ahead and attach this. So I'm going to look, I want it off to the side. So I'm going to take this all the way down through the deco mesh to my wreath base. just like so.
I actually got kicked out of Facebook.
You got kicked out?
Yeah.
Wow.
The video's still going, but
Well, that's because it's hardwired directly into the internet.
yeah.
And then we're going to do the same thing here. I'm pulling my mesh around so that when I go through, it'll kind of keep my mesh in place. So we're going to go here. And down through this one.
I'm back on.
You're back.
Yep. Hi Venus. Shasta just joining in. Love the sign. Crawfish is big here in Texas.
Oh, see, so
It's a lobster or a crawfish, yeah.
aren't they? Isn't crawfish though smaller?
It is much smaller, but they can still get to be pretty big.
And crawfish, if I'm not mistaken, are freshwater, whereas lobster could be fresh or saltwater. So I'm just making sure it's kind of positioned where I want it to go, and then I will lightly.
Bye, Rox. Have a great weekend. She said, I really like this mesh. I'll catch the rest on the replay later.
Okay.
Deborah said, Kat, I always notice you put your sign on first rather than putting on last. Why is that?
Okay, the only reason I put it on first here is because I need to see how much availability in open pipe cleaners am I going to need to fill with ribbons.
Right.
So keep in mind that right here is going to be a pretty big bow. So I have a couple out here, but basically it's going to kind of stay down along the bottom. I think I factored in 3 sections for ribbon before I cut into any additional. So imagine if, because I had 18 pipe cleaners, I cut 18 different colors of my ribbon, but look, my sign took up 6 different pipe cleaners. So there's no point in putting ribbon underneath that. It's too expensive. And then, like I said, when this guy can actually go on top of existing ribbon, and then our bow will be up here. So I just add the sign first so I can kind of get an idea of where do I need to start working? Where am I going to put ribbon so that I don't put it where it's not needed?
Plus, a lot of times there's no sense in putting a sign over a ribbon when it's just going to hide the ribbon.
Right.
So she might go and put it on the outside, but
something like that. Yeah. So I'm going to take, I have 3 different colors of the 2.5 inch ribbon. So I have, and they all came from Craft Outlet except the blue jeans. So the red and white striped 2.5 inch is cut to 14 inch pieces, or I'm sorry, 13 inch pieces for the tails. The lobster's the same. This came from Craft Outlet. And then the blue jean material, it was from Hobby Lobby. So I think that covers the tails, the tail dimensions. So, and I'm alternating like white or red, white, and then I'm doing like blue and putting the blue in the next one. And remember I said right here is bow, so we're skipping because there's no sense in us adding tails and half bows when we're just going to come back in and throw a big bow on top of it. So it's pointless.
And so this would be really cute with the peephole door cut out from Friends, the TV show.
Yeah.
We had the lobster. Love the episode where Phoebe told the lobster a love story.
Who's saying that?
We just saw that, huh?
Who said that?
Anne.
Yeah, Caitlin sent me the video and she's like, you know, I want you to make me a lobster wreath. And I was like, why? And she goes, because her and her fiance / boyfriend, whatever, is going to, they love Friends. They have watched all the episodes of Friends, so they're big, huge Friends fanatics. So she sent me the link of the lobster and I was like, okay, I got it. Got the lobster reference now. So
Cheryl said, oh, hi, I miss you guys. Always busy with son and grandsons living here right now. No problem, Cheryl.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Thanks for joining.
So I'm going to go every other one with the blue jean because I really want to keep some of the navy in here and not completely lose it to the red and white. So on the outside for now, I am just going like, which will change my dimensions. So this is why I don't give materials lists ahead of a live unless I know for a fact, okay, we're just remaking something I've made and I already know how much of anything you're gonna need. So I'm just kind of going around and going, alternating red and white with the navy jean material. And I like it because it reminds me of, like, you know, it's summer, jeans. So if we go boating, you have jeans. The guys wear jeans.
Or cut off jean shorts.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just adding this to the outside, ribbons only. Even though I know I said right where that one blue jean one is, it's probably going to get moved because we're going to have a bow there, but we'll see. So I'm going to open this up and cut more. I need 1, 2, possibly. So cutting these 2 13-inch pieces. So this will allow me to demo the dovetail cut.
Oh, that's cool, Audrey.
What's that?
She said she's one up in Tualatin, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
She said every August we have a crawfish festival. People come from all over the state, and that is where contest to see how many they can down in a certain length of time. Yep.
Wow. Okay, so let me show you the dovetail method. So dovetail just means putting the little V in the bottom. So if you just take your wired ribbon, I always use wired because you can bring it back to life after it goes into storage for the season. You fold it in half, so where your wired edge is, you're going to cut on the folded side, but to the corner of that wired ribbon, just like so, and then it'll give you like the perfect dovetail without having to cut in and then cut in and hope that you meet somewhere in the middle. Or, and I'll show you this when we do another one, there's a shortcut to do both at the same time because we're always looking for shortcuts. So, and then we're doing red and white stripe.
Nancy said, I love Kat, been watching her for years.
Thank you. I enjoy it. It's just sometimes creativity, man, trying to come up with new designs, new techniques, new everything, stuff that's relevant, stuff that's fun, stuff nobody else has done.
Yep.
Just becomes challenging. So here's my last one. So again, folding it in half.
Some of the girls like Sandra, who live up in Maine, man, you'd think this would be a pretty big seller up there. I'd probably have at least a couple.
Yeah, it would depend.
Yeah.
You know, like if we were closer to our beach communities down here, then yeah, that would be a big, huge thing for our beach community people.
Take them in and market them to all your little seafood restaurants.
Yeah. I just see it as like, you know, the little fish markets or little fish stands where they sell fresh fish. So I'm adding this to my pipe cleaner. Just like so. So I'll show you what it looks like so far just with the tails. So this is just tails to the outside. So remember, our little crustacean guy is going to go down here to the bottom. Although Steve really wants me to put this one in. He bought this for me at the Boston airport. Yeah, the Boston airport gift shop. And I love him. So now I'm going to go in and add half bows to the ones that have tails. So I have 3 different colors. I have the blue and white thin stripe, came from Craft Outlet, cut to 14 inches. Same with blue and white polka dot. And then the red and white polka dot, these are all cut 14 inches. All 3 of them came from Craft Outlet. So we're going to put the blue and white stripe is going to go on our lobster print. So we're going to go ahead and add that.
That's going to be like an awareness bow.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry. I'm like, I can't just assume. Okay, so what I do for half bows, because remember a bow has 2 loops and then 2 tails, you take them and you fold them in half, but about 2 inches up, you gather them. And so these are going to go in right where I'm pinching it. And then once it's pinched, I'm going to not open the pipe cleaners, put this on top of the ones that are already there, and then I'll twist it, and then I'm going to take it and kind of fan them out so they look like this inside.
On top of the 2.5.
Yeah, on top of the 2.5. So
Which
the
fills the
polka
gap.
dot's going to go with the stripes.
And the bow, or the bow portion, covers the gap. Basically fills in the gap.
It does for me. I'm all about the gap. It has to be complete.
Sandra, the sign came from Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby. They have another one too that says "Live Long and Lobster," so you can get either one. They're both really cute.
Hi Liz, hi Tisha. Pamela Martin said, first time watching live, but I've seen your videos on YouTube. Love your work. Where are you from, Pamela? Let us know what
Yeah,
city
we'd
and
love
state.
to know where you guys are coming from. Because in our Friday Night Lives, we always try to get people to get together and become community members. And we have quite a few people on the East Coast right now. A lot of people in Florida, a lot of people in North Carolina. So now we're adding the polka dot to all the blue jean material. So wherever we have blue jean, we're just going to go ahead and add the red and white polka dot.
Deborah asked she said, you're such a great teacher, Kat. So patient and informative. Curious, were you a school teacher before you decided to do wreaths?
I was a corporate trainer.
Yeah.
I was a corporate trainer for almost,
AT&T.
yeah, for AT&T. Well,
Wireless.
it was wireless. Then I went to Singular Wireless, got bought out. Then it went back to AT&T. So I loved teaching. And I loved teaching and making it fun. So, yeah, doing training for customer care was amazing. I loved my job. I had to have loved my job because my commute each way to work, I kid you not, was 3 hours. We lived in Lancaster and I worked all the way in Anaheim Hills. So I had a 3-hour commute to work every day and a 3-hour commute on the way back. So, and I kid you not, 3 hours. Which was great because when you're teaching a customer care class on being prompt and on time, if I can drive in and it takes me 3 hours to get to work and it only takes people 20 minutes, you have no excuse. If I can be here on time, you can be here on time. So, yeah, it was fun. I loved that job. One of my favorite jobs ever. But they went the way of virtual training. So, we had to part ways.
Yep. Sonia said, wow, yes, you loved your job.
I did love my job. Because it gave me an awful lot of unwind time, seeing stuff across the desert that most people never see, watching movies being filmed, or seeing rockets launch in the middle of the night, which really freak you out if you don't know that's what they are. All of a sudden you see this big bolt of light go up, and you're wondering, okay, what is that? But I loved it. Classic job. And I loved what I did. So I had a group of 30 to 40
Newcomers.
we called them new hires. And we would train every 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks you got a new class of people. They made a lot of friends. So I'm just going around now. Let's see, these are going to go into my middles. This is going to my lobster ribbon. So I'm just filling my gaps, and then there's a couple spots in here that I'll need to fill. And then this will go pretty quick. I did all my lobsters, so let me go red and white.
I think you need one more on the outside of the sign.
This one right here?
Yeah.
It's gonna just be, I mean, I'll look at it. I might end up pulling one of these, like one I think my bow's gonna go here. Yeah, I'll end up looking at it. That's why I don't do materials lists, because it's a create as we go. So I have two of these so far. And there'll probably be another need for another one. So here's how you do it really fast. Do your dovetail cuts, you bring your ends together, you fold it in half, and then you cut from your folded side to the end, and then you're all ready to go. And since you're holding it, you just do your gather, cut it in the middle, and then you're good to go. I know also, I want to say it's Hobby Lobby. They also sell like little ceramic or little plaster little lobsters.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get those if you wanted to add a smaller lobster to your wreath instead of one quite so big. So here we go. We're scrunching. And then I'll look at the interior. I probably will do my bow next to see how much real estate on the wreath it's going to take up. And I haven't cut my pipe cleaners off because I'm going to go back in and add those little pieces of flex tubing, both in the snowdrift and then the white. We're going to go in and kind of add that little pop, and then I will cut the ribbons off. So let me go ahead and, this is what it looks like so far. So we're going to do the bow so we can figure out how much of this space is it going to eat up, so that I know how many more interior ones around the center do I need to do. And then we'll add our lobster guy. So I'm doing it with the Bodabra. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do probably, I just want to keep the bow small. So I think, but I would love to incorporate a lobster on the bottom. So I think I'm going to do lobster at the base for my lobster, then add this, then add this. Maybe, it doesn't matter. Look, if I do it this way, I'm still going to get polka dots in the middle that are together. I was trying to break them up, but I think it'll be, maybe it'll be like that. I like the polka dots though. I always put the ribbon that I like on the very, very top. So I'll probably go like this. So those will be our layers of bows. So, knowing that our lobster is going to be at the bottom because she's our star, I'm going to go ahead and dovetail cut the end. So, again.
Okay, sorry about that. You'll have to go make sure that you go into Cats Creations and click on the three dots. I think it's the upper right corner somewhere.
What's that?
And click on notifications. Yeah.
Every Friday at 5.
Every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to want my tails about this long. So I have 2 good sized lobster in there, which means that the tails are going to be, can I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches. So we're going to do 8-inch tails because we don't want them super, super long. So I'll move this to the side so we can demo how to make a bow. So with a bow dabber, it's super simple. You take out the little holder and then you have this thing. So all this is fingers. So just think of it that way. So we have 8 inches. We know it's in between the lobster. So I turn it this way so it's easier. And then you just twist and then you stick it in the middle so it'll hold it. So this way you have right side fabric this way, wrong side fabric this way, so that when you're ready to make your loop, you now have your outside fabric ready for your loop. So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate right now and then look at how long is this. And I'm going to try to go 5-inch loops with the bigger so it has a good base to sit on. So 8-inch tails with 5-inch loops. So here we go, twist, and we'll just take measurements, make sure it's not overly long. And then we have an 8-inch tail. So I need to make sure my tail is right side up. 8 inches out. Why can I not do the mouth today? To 12, right here. And because I'm stacking 4 layers of bows on, an average bow usually has about 8 loops to it. So with that, there's our first portion of our bow. So this goes all done in case we need him for the rest of our interior loops. Then we're going to do the blue and white thin stripe. Same thing, you're going to dovetail cut your ends just like so. We're going to come in and give him the same length.
Hey Janet, no problem. Just hey Kat and Steve, everyone can't stay. Best friend from Florida is visiting.
Go hang out with your friends.
Go hang out with your friend.
Exactly. Replays are always available. So this is, I'm going to do these about 4.5 inch loops. So I'm just bringing them in like a 1/2 inch, just like a regular bow would be. Okay, there we go. And then we have our tail. We'll dovetail cut this one. If you get into the habit of always dovetail cutting your ribbons while you're making them, you will never forget dovetail cutting your any of your ribbons anywhere. So that one's done, and then we're going to do red.
Kathy said beauty. Deborah said so cute.
I love the lobster ribbon. I've had the lobster ribbon for a year now, if you can believe that. Because I knew last year, I was like, oh, how cute would that be? A lobster wreath. But then it was like, oh, I need to find a lobster. No, I need to find a lobster sign. So it all just kind of came together. So we'll make sure our loops, now we're 4 inches exactly. And we'll bring our tails a little bit shorter. Dovetail cut these.
I was going to make a lobster joke earlier, but I decided not to.
What is your lobster joke?
When you said you loved the lobster ribbon as your base,
Uh-huh.
I said, yeah, it's all about that base. Like to base
Basting
a
a lobster. Like drawn.
That's a bad joke.
Drawn butter. I know, I was waiting for the puns, because normally somebody always does lobster puns. So now here's our
Trisha,
polka
I
dot.
think.
Somebody does. Sharon?
I think it was Trisha.
Somebody does. There's always puns coming from somebody. So bringing that in just a little bit more. So these will be 3.5 inch loops. We'll just double check so that they match on both sides. There we go. 3.5. And I just move my bow dabber around, so I'm always working on this side. It just seems more natural to me this way. And then we will cut our tail and add our dovetail cut to the end. And because I'm starting with blue and white, I'm probably going to use a blue pipe cleaner to secure all my ribbon together. So there's those. Here's blue. We're going to kind of fold it in half.
Oh, Teresa. She's like, that's like beachalicious.
Oh, there we go. See, it's starting.
Yeah, Teresa.
So we're just going to lift it out of the bow dabber. Everything is stacked perfectly. You're going to pull your pipe cleaner down and then just kind of twist everything together. You could do wire, but I prefer to have something a little thicker to kind of move down into the center of my wreath, and then I fluff on the wreath. There's some people who will fluff their bow off of the wreath, but I'm gonna fluff mine on. So I know it's gonna go right here where this white pipe cleaner is, so I'm just going to remove it. Just twist it a couple more times so that it's gonna fit really nicely.
Liz, the bow maker is called the Bow-Dabra. It's available everywhere.
Hobby Lobby is probably your best
Hobby
place.
Lobby, Michael's has them, Joann's.
Because you can use your 40% off coupon.
Amazon has them.
So I'm gonna lightly put it on there, because if you pull it all the way down to the wreath frame, you're gonna fold your bow in half. So this is where you're going to take and you're gonna move things around. So we're gonna move our tails down, pull our ribbons up. This is where you're gonna position your deco mesh where you want it to go, so your bow will lay flatter. Then we're gonna go in with the navy blue, and we'll pull these in opposite directions, like so. And then we're gonna do our red. I think I'm gonna pull the red and the blue opposite. This way I don't have like the blue all sitting next to each other. And then I'm gonna flip this.
Do you remember the stats we were talking about? It was last week. How many wreaths and things you'd made over the last couple years? I think,
No.
what was it? 3,000 or something like that? Crazy
Oh,
number?
no, I haven't made that many.
Well,
No.
at least, I know it was at least 1,000.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. That would just be insane. I have
Yeah.
not made that many wreaths.
Carol said, is that done as a pancake wreath? Not really.
Not
I mean,
really.
it is just a ruffle technique.
Because it's a little
Just a
flatter.
little thick, yeah.
Because I think when you're doing the pancake technique, you're going with a flatter deco mesh so that it lays flatter. Mine is not laying as flat. So as you can see, this is where everything is winding up, where everything is done. So with that being said, I'm looking at, let's see, I have one here. I don't really think that I need to put ribbon here because it's too tight.
Ron said, you're so creative, love it.
Thank you.
Deborah's been asking some pretty good questions. She said, why did you choose the navy and white deco mesh for the base rather than a base being of a light blue or a red stripe? Do you choose your mesh last after you choose your ribbons or vice versa?
Great question. So the inspiration was a sign. And with the sign, you can go a wide variety of ways. You could go white, but then that's too white. It looks too sterile. So I was thinking, I really want the red to be more of the accent, so I don't want it to be overly red. Just pops of red with the ribbon. And then because it's beach, you can go beach like tropical turquoise blue water and sand, or you can go the deeper waters, which is the navy blues and the whites, and you don't really see the sand way out there. So I picked, I'm gonna go with the navy on here and not the turquoise blue, because I think that turquoise and red,
Yeah.
they kind of don't mix. Turquoise and white would have been fine, but then you're missing the red. So you've got to incorporate red in there somewhere. So that's just kind of how I came up with what I did. So we will look at, we have one here, which we will definitely do, but I need to figure out, do I want to put a lobster in there? And I also have one here. So
Liz, if you have Hobby Lobby there, they should have the Bow-Dabra. No problem.
yeah, and with
They
Hobby
should.
Lobby you get 40% off. So I think they're $15.99 at Hobby Lobby, so 40% off will be what, about
$9.
yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and add one here. So I had one left.
Yeah, Cindy said you're right. Even in the Christmas department, they have a mini Bow-Dabra, but that's more for like hair ribbons.
It's hair,
and stuff.
yeah, it's to do your hair ties or your little girl's hair bows.
Yeah.
So that's what that one's for. But if you want to incorporate those, by all means, you can definitely do that.
Yep.
So let me go ahead and add this. They will actually lay better when I cut the pipe cleaners off, because the pipe cleaners on the bottom ones are pushing everything up. My Bow-Dabra. But if you go to Hobby Lobby, the boxes don't look like that anymore.
No, but
They changed the box
that's the
design.
wording. Yeah.
Just go to where they sell their floral supplies and you will find them no problem.
Right.
So I'm going to do this one, and then,
Teresa said this is going to be lobstacular.
see, it just is going. I even tried to incorporate a pun in my listings, but I didn't really have any. So I'm gonna probably put, we'll look. We will look and see. It would have to be lobster ribbon. It goes under. So we'll look and see if I want to do that. Because Steve's like, you should put tails underneath because you can still see under the sign, but we'll look and see before we cut another one if it's even worth it.
There you go, Judy. She says my nephew lives in Boston, so I'll have to get him to give him a lobster so he can make this for them.
There you go.
Yep.
So we'll look at this one and see.
And I'll be back in Boston in
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we'll come in here. It's way in there though. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty far. Like I know for a fact you would not put a half bow in there because you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just do the tails like that. Just so it kind of completes the look, even though you're missing most of the lobster. Okay, so that means we need another one for the blue. So 23, 13, 10. So we'll do another one for underneath. So we're just making the ones for the underside of the sign. You don't have to. So I'm going to, for these ones, I'm actually going to insert said ribbon tail, twist, and then cut the pipe cleaners off because there's nothing to be had underneath. This way, it'll lay better under the sign, and it'll still give you those pops of color. And then we'll go in, we'll add our flex tubing, and then we'll attach said lobster, and then we should be done. So just like that. I know I have one more right underneath here. I'm just trying to debate what color because there's navy here. So I'm like, do I want, I already did a lobster here. Challenging to say the least. So I'm like looking at the overall design. I think I'm gonna go navy again at the top.
Deborah also asked, what kind of scale do you use to ship your boxes? It's just a measuring scale we got on Amazon.
Amazon.
It was about 15 or 20 bucks.
Yeah, just a digital scale.
Just a digital scale, yep. You can set your boxes sideways on it. Some that's got a pretty decent flat.
Most people don't know you can actually flip that up. If you want to bring the digital scale out, it's right on the inside of the craft room door. I actually don't weigh them now because once you do it for a while, you can pretty much almost guesstimate what your wreath weights are going to be based on the type of style wreath you're making. Oh, so see, here's the digital scale. So it's just an Accutech digital scale. So sometimes when you have this giant 24 by 24 by 6 inch box and people are like, you can barely read the number in there, it has this little pop-up. There we go. It's done this way. So now you can take the box and stand it on its side here so it doesn't flip over. Yep. So you can read it.
Plus it has a pause button, so a lot of times you can just reach underneath and click the pause button and then take the box off and it'll tell you what the measurement is.
It's easier just to weigh it on the sides. But like I said, when you do it enough, you'll know, hey, this is what the weight is. Because your boxes are always going to be at least a pound because the post office always rounds up. So if your wreath weighs 4.5 pounds, the post office is going to charge you for a 5-pound package.
So her inspiration mainly comes from signs, but she'll get it from ribbon. Yeah, she'll get them from ribbon too.
Like when we did the school one, the inspiration came from the ribbon.
Right.
So,
or like a mermaid tail or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the mermaid tail was,
Yeah.
I looked at the colors first, just browsing Pinterest, looking at what colors go good together. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to add the fun, this is Snowdrift flex tubing. You can get it at Craft Outlet. I know people always ask me for measurements, but I just do it off of the way it looks. So I just kind of gauge, gauge it like so. And then these are going to go, not there, it's going to go on top of the red and white polka dot.
It looks like rope.
Yeah, it kind of looks like rope.
Yeah. Let us, will you please do a show on how to make a flower deco mesh like the one on the door or something like it for us on the live? So she did this on the live, but it was on her private group.
I always do them in my private group.
Yeah. So if you want to join the private group, she can tell you about it more.
Or, there's tons of, what do you call them? The wreath videos out there already that people have already done. So, like we did that one last Sunday, I think. That was our sunflower with the poly burlap mesh.
Yeah.
So that one's just a little bit different. So, and then the red are gonna go wherever I have the blue and white. And this one's gonna be like a 3 thing bow. I don't know why, I just went 3. Sometimes I go 3, sometimes I go 2. This one I just wanted to do 3 loops.
Oh, that's too bad, Simone. She said, Steve, I won't see you, but Boston is an hour and a half away from me. Do you live north or south of Boston? Because I'm actually going up to Woburn, which is about half hour, 45 minutes north.
So then we're just going to kind of add those little pops, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom now and start working on the bottom pieces. So
Venus said, love the lobster wreath. The colors are perfect.
I don't know why I'm doing 2 on the white and then 3 on the red. Probably because the white costs a lot more and the red is just like, hey, you can get that at Dollar Tree. So these are the ones that I'm taking and snipping them off, and then I take the pipe cleaners and I just bend them backwards into the wreath so that you don't have that pointed piece protruding out. And then I'll just kind of fluff as I go all the way around.
You know, a lobster on, huh?
Duh. Okay, I'm going to skip that and go the other way. I'm going to go this way around because I was like, thanks, Steve, for reminding me we need to put the lobster in there.
Skew without it, but it'll look better than that.
It will. You can't have a lobster wreath without a lobster. So I'm going to do the same thing. You just kind of make, I don't know, they're like 2-inch loops. But when you do the 3 like these, this is good for St. Patrick's Day. When you do the loops and you do green. So you can, like, when I do my St. Patrick's Day, I always do 3 loops on all but 1. And then 1 I do the actual 4 loop. So it's the 4 loop over.
Deborah said, thank you so much. About the same scale. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Vera said, super cute wreath. Simone said, south of Boston. If you're an hour and a half south of Boston, then you're not in Boston. You're in Rhode Island or Connecticut. Because you can literally drive across Boston in like 2 hours.
I think you're thinking Rhode Island.
No, he's in Boston.
Oh. So I'm just going around and adding it to all the blue half bows. And then I'll come back and add all the white. So as you can see, I'm just like twisting these like a grand total of 5 times. And then I take the pipe cleaners and turn them down underneath everything. So you can still see the little chenille fuzz, but that's it. You don't see anything else.
She said she's in Western Mass.
Ah, so that's more inland.
Yeah.
So blue, 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 blue. Okay, we did that one blue. Come over here and do this one blue. I don't have any blue. I have mostly white. So that's going to be cool because this kind of looks like rope.
Venus, I don't know. You'd have to. I mean, obviously, you'd have to check the dimensions. She asked if this would fit between 2 doors. It would be tight. If you had 4 inches, some of the bows might flatten a little bit. But
here's the thing, and it's funny because I got a request yesterday to do a custom wreath. It couldn't be more than 3 inches, but the style the customer wanted was grapevine. So if you're used to grapevine, just the grapevine base alone is a 2-inch height. So doing a floral wreath that she wanted was totally and completely impossible unless you do low floral. And then that's really keeping everything low, and she wanted a bow. And I'm like, have you ever thought about putting your wreath on the outside of your storm door? So I sent her pictures of like the little suction cup holders or the ones that go up and over. And so she's like, never thought of that. And I was like, if that's the case, then definitely we can work on something and give you what it is that you're looking for, but staying within that confine of 3 inches. And then what she liked is like, those don't even match. You know, I try to just be 100% realistic with that, so that, you know, yes, you can go buy one that says that, like, this is already, did we put the ruler back, the measuring tape in the box?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I can measure this and tell you how thick it would be. But I'm looking at the height of the bow. The bow's the thing that makes it the highest point. So if you're okay with smushing your ribbons, everything can compact down, definitely, because that's the highest point of the entire wreath, is that ribbon section. And then if you like the Snowdrift Deco mesh, it feels so soft. It's very fluffy and furry. Craft Outlet. And then the red you can get from Craft Outlet, or you can just wait for Dollar Tree to have it. They should be getting it right now for the 4th of July, but definitely for Christmas. They sell it in red, white, gold, green, and I think that's it for Christmas. So I stock up. Okay.
So Deborah actually has, where did you buy your red apron? I love it. So I replied to her and said it's an Etsy shop called Quilt and Sin, and I typed in the letters so you can see it. And one of your aprons is actually on her page. So.
Yeah, you can look at the black one that I'm notorious for wearing. She was the first person who made them for me. But if you're really savvy with a Cricut, you can just do Cricut lettering and then do your iron transfers.
But I do like the aprons that she has.
Yes, I can honestly say, because it's really super thick.
It's got pockets.
Yeah, so when you're at the craft fair and you want to have pockets, you're all good. Okay, so let's get rid of.
It's actually my cousin.
Oh, Cindy.
Cindy, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking. I have 2. Let me see. Oh, but he looks so cute. But he also smashes all the ribbons that are already there. He looks adorable over the plastic one. But look, I'll show you guys. Let me cut his little tag off, since I am the consumer. His tag's missing. Okay, let me show you what I'm seeing, so you guys can see.
So you're not sure which one you're going to use? Not sure which one you're going to use?
He looks really cute like this.
Let's look at both of them.
Okay, look. How adorable is this? So look. So that one, although he's not weather resistant, and he will fade if he's left outside.
Yeah.
Or you have this one. What do you guys think? Oop, he fell. What do you think?
Which one do you guys think, gals?
Plastic.
Plastic or the...
So here's plastic. Or here's fuzzy. Just like so. Just like so. Kind of like that. He would go further Probably further down here. I don't know. Because I'm not seeing it the same way you are. What do you guys think?
They haven't responded yet.
Okay, I know there's a delay.
Liz said the stuffed one.
See, I think the stuffed
Tara
one.
said fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Simone said plush. So the same thing.
Kind of see where that's
Sandra said,
going.
I absolutely love this wreath. Gorgeous. Which lobster? The fuzzy one or the plastic one?
So even though he does cover up a wide variety of the tails, it's still kind of cute because I would probably take the pipe cleaner, attach him, but then also make it to where if the customer wanted to take it off,
Yeah.
you still have a good wreath like this. And
They're all saying fuzzy.
See?
But Peggy said plastic may be more marketable.
I don't know. It's crazy because you just never know what people will like. So there are people who will like fuzzy over more realistic.
Yeah, they're all saying the plush is cuter.
Okay.
So use it. I'll get you another one when I go back.
So now what you're going to have to do
I'll
is
get
you're
one for
going to have
Caitlin and one for
to,
you.
I'm going to go with a thicker floral layer. And I'm going to kind of just gather it in the middle. So let me cut. This is 22 gauge floral layer.
Yeah, plus the color of this stuff one matches everything better.
It does.
And Kathy said the plush one really brings all the elements together.
Right?
Thank you, Gail. See? Democratic votes.
Yep. So it went right through his little plushiness. Just like so. So we will position him right here so people can get all his fuzzies off.
See him, see where he's at.
Yeah, I'm trying to position him where I can actually attach him to the frame.
And just think, it's a real live Boston.
It came
Maine
from Boston.
lobster.
From Boston. It's a lobster.
Lobster.
Right? It's a legitimate. Came from Boston. Now watch, she'll go back there and you won't find him anymore. That's okay though.
I just got it a couple weeks ago, right?
Something
About a month ago I got it. So, and there were a lot there, so I'll look again. When I land, I'll look, because I think
So he says.
I think I leave too early Friday. I don't think the shops will be open.
Okay. So he's perfectly situated there. The ribbon can just kind of flip over his tail. It's entirely up to you, however you want it.
You already got them all tied in?
Yeah, he's fastened. He's ready to
Cool.
go. He's not lacking in any way, shape, or
So
form.
there it is, huh?
Mm-hmm. So I'm just moving, and then I can still add my pipe cleaners to the bottom down here. So I have one more of these. Tab. He just looks too cute not to. His little beady eyes, that's what does it. So that goes there. Oh, I had one piece of red. Oh, let's see. 1, 2, not quite long enough there. So 1, 2, 3. And then he's done.
The stuffed has it.
The stuffed, look, stuffed lobster. Is that not a delicacy?
That's a good pun.
That's actually a dish.
Yep.
So now I have to go in and change the listing because I put it's a plastic lobster.
Lobster.
Now he'll have to be stuffed lobster, complete with stuffed lobster.
Hey, gals, just jumping on. Hey, Gail. Hey, Daisy. Judy.
No pun.
Well, Judy's been on earlier.
Okay. So,
No, Judy, the sign's from Hobby Lobby, believe it or not.
right? What? Hobby Lobby? Yep. So we're gonna I have one pipe cleaner left under the lobster. So I'm just making it, and I will put it to where the lobster's removable. So I will leave extra underneath. So if the customer wants to untwist them and pull them off and give them to their kid, they can. And then
yeah, I'm feeling better. Thanks for asking.
And it still looks super cute because everything is complete underneath it. So it's got a complete lobster look underneath as well as on top. There we go. Okay, so let me show you guys what it looks like. It's super cute. That's it. I'm just snipping my wires. What do you guys think?
Beautiful.
We'll put them on the door, see what it looks like.
Yep.
Whoop. Okay. So we'll take this one, set this one aside, and then we'll add this one. Oh. So there you go. Get it all ready for its pictures. Make sure all your bows, all your ribbon tails are perfect because you don't want to see them all bent when you take your pictures. You want to have your loops out because it never fails when a customer gets their wreaths. They never take their loops and fluff them. They leave them kind of the way it is in the bottoms. So you want to take all your loops, all your tails, make them all pretty, just like so.
Becky said, so stinking cute.
There he is. See?
Yeah. Also precious. Judy said, oh, I'm going tomorrow to go get one.
What, the lobster or the sign?
Probably the lobster. The sign.
Gotcha.
You have to go to the airport to get the lobster.
I don't know. They might
I'm
have
sure
them
they're probably
somewhere
all
else.
over. Yeah.
So, this needs to be this way. So there you go.
Patty said, cutest lobster wreath I have seen.
Thank you. There's not that many lobster wreaths out there, so it's always fun to do something just a little bit different from the ordinary. You know, everyone's done a beach wreath, but have they done a lobster wreath? So there he is. His face is just adorable. That's the thing that won me over.
Yeah, he's cute.
His little beady eyes. So, true statement, no lobsters were harmed in the creation of this wreath. Super, super cute. You can decide how you want to hang it. You could hang it more this way. It's entirely up to you. You can hang it more right up and down.
Yeah,
So,
I think I like that way better a little bit.
There
So
you
the
go.
bow's off center. The lobster is kind of crooked.
There you go. That's why to each their own. So there you guys go. That's our
Simone
Friday
said
night lobster wreath.
Simone said lobster's a perfect addition. Kathy said love this. Thank you for sharing it.
You're welcome.
Audrey said love it. So cute. Another one of the books. Thank you for another great Friday Night Live.
Yeah, and I'll get the materials list over to the private group probably tomorrow because I'm going to have to go back in and double count all my ribbons because we changed the ribbon count. We added a lot more. And then the lobster. I'll have to incorporate the lobster into that, but that should pretty much do it, I think. So do you guys have any questions at all on anything I can answer for you?
Deborah just asked again, do you ever put wire hangers on the back?
I don't.
Most of the time you don't because the form, the wreath,
Yeah.
the metal frame is the hanger. You can just use
So
the
if you
hanger
look
nail or
right
something.
here, here's your hanger. So that's what I was saying. You could literally spin it around every, particular way so that you can put it whatever way appeals to you. Like Steve likes it more
Like that.
more like that
Yeah.
with a crooked bow. So it's entirely up to you. So that's, it's customer preference.
Patty said I've seen several made, but this one outshines all the others.
Well, thank you.
That's because it's got butter on it.
It does not butter. It has a lobster on it. Okay. Well, private group, Sunday. What are we making? Bookworm. Bookworm wreath is what we're making on Sunday. So if anyone's interested in a private group, here's my little shameless pitch. $17 a month. We do 4 private tutorials every Sunday at 5, in addition to 4 business classes throughout the month. So anything on marketing, Etsy, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Canva. What else do we do? What's new in social media? How does that impact us? Like a lot of us know about the changes that are coming to Facebook because we share that at the beginning of every month. This is what's coming to Instagram. This is what's changing. So just kind of be aware of that stuff. And then you can sign up for it on my website, which is KatsCreationsNMore.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll see interested in Kat's private group. There's a link there to join, and then you would request Facebook permission to join the private group. Yeah. But you get access to all the videos, and I think there's 102 videos for the private group. So quite a few. You get access to all of them.
Sandra said, love it, craving lobster now.
Good
night, Venus.
All right, everyone, have a great rest of the weekend. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Deborah. She said, sign up. She's worth every penny.
Aw, thanks, Deborah.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.